Tanisha Richards was 25, college educated, freshly transplanted to Houston, and chasing the algorithm like it owed her rent. New city, new grind. Multiple social media pages, all carefully curated to sell a life that looked upward, even when it felt sideways. Houston was supposed to be the land of opportunity, the place creators ran to when they wanted to turn hustle into income and attention into currency. And for a moment, it almost looked like it might work. But tucked behind the filters and captions was a problem no brand deal could fix. A man she went on one date with who decided rejection was just a suggestion. The kind of relentless harassment that turns a phone into a weapon and silence into a threat. She was scared. She asked for help. She prayed for distance, for peace, for him to just stop. But in a world where no gets negotiated and boundaries get laughed at, her prayers didn't get answered. They got ignored. And that's where this story really begins. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.
Hola vlog. I'm gonna go ahead and record myself as I get my face together because I'm looking real crunchy. But basically, based on the title, I am in Houston, Texas. It's been a hot ass mess, not even gonna lie.
Tanisha was from Spring Lake, North Carolina, and chasing something bigger than the place she came from. After college, after trying to figure out where life was supposed to take her, she packed up her dreams and landed in Houston, Texas, a city she saw as a playground for content creators, a place where the algorithm had money, opportunity, and maybe a little magic if you knew how to work it. And Tanisha was working it. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. She wasn't just posting, she was building.
Well, yeah, I originally came down here because, I've been in North Carolina this whole entire pandemic. And when you grow out of a place, you ready to go. And Alabama is just not it right now. And I hate the faces that I'm making. Houston is supposed to be a place where there's hella opportunities, and it's crazy because I've been seeing Houston everywhere, I'm big on signs. Dreaming about it, all types of shit.
She did food videos, workouts, clothing hauls, funny moments, little pieces of her life stitched together for an audience that was growing right in front of her.
Reporting live from Channel Tizzy today, we're doing workout gear. Hercules, yes, lift them weights. We gotta unbig that back this summer, okay? Now these are tall girl friendly. They reach pretty long, they go to my ankles, but I had some long socks on just in case, because girl, I don't want my ankles showing. The fuck? And you can do some lunges. Yep, workout one. Yeah. And I got them in red. I also got them in like an emerald green. They were real cute. I got a lot of compliments. They're very comfortable. I felt secure. So when you go up in the gym, you look good. You feel good. And of course, you can dance up in it. So yeah, go get some.
But while her followers saw a young woman trying to make something of herself, behind the scenes, she was fighting off a 44-year-old nightmare named Gerard, a man almost twice her age who took one date and turned it into a hostage situation. And let's be clear, Gerard was not confused. He was not heartbroken. He was not some lonely man who just couldn't move on. He was a grown, dangerous, jealous, violent predator with a criminal history long enough to qualify as a warning label. Tanisha told him no. She told him she wasn't interested. She tried to be nice. She tried to be firm. She called police. She quit her job to avoid him. She documented the harassment. She reported the threats. She did exactly what women are always told to do when a man starts acting like rejection is a personal attack, and still, the system stood around like it was waiting for the situation to become tragic enough to take seriously. Because Bruce did not simply bother her. He stalked her. He called her over and over. He left voicemails. He sent more than 100 text messages. He contacted her workplace pretending to be a delivery driver and a job applicant. He allegedly hired private investigators to find her location. That is not romance. That is not persistence. That is a predator doing reconnaissance. and Tanisha knew it. On Twitter, she wrote about regretting meeting people, saying some people were literal monsters who ruin everything. The next day, she said men don't ever leave her alone and needed to move on. She didn't name him there, but the fear was already bleeding through the screen. Then came the voicemail, the kind of message that should have had police kicking down doors, not shuffling paperwork. Bruce told her to keep her eyes open. He said he was closer than she thought. He said he had something much better in mind. And then, apparently thinking the call was over or not caring who heard it, he said, "I'm going to kill this bee." That was not a hint. That was not a misunderstanding. That was a murder threat wrapped in a voicemail and handed to the system with a bow on top. But the Houston Police Department had already been given her fear months before. In December 2023, Tanisha filed a report naming Bruce Gerard. She told police he had recently gotten out of jail. She said he was sending threatening messages. She said he had called her dozens of times. She said he knew where she used to live. She said she was scared he would find out where she lived now. She said she was scared for her life. And somehow, that report sat for months. Months. A woman put her terror in writing, named the man, described the behavior, and the response moved with the urgency of a government printer with no ink. And Bruce's record? Oh, the record was screaming. In 2006, he was convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after he broke into a home and stabbed his pregnant girlfriend 17 times. She survived. Her fetus did not. He was sentenced to 20 years. That alone should have made every future complaint against him glow red. But apparently in this justice system, a man can stab a pregnant woman 17 times, get released, pile up more allegations, and still be treated like society should keep giving him chances until he finally finishes the job on somebody else. After his early release, the pattern continued. He was charged with retaliation in 2022 for threats against an ex-girlfriend, but the case was dismissed when prosecutors couldn't find her. In 2023, he was accused of threatening another woman with a gun, but that case was also dismissed. In April 2024, he was accused of trying to strangle another woman, and that case was dismissed too for insufficient evidence. So by the time Tanisha entered his orbit, Bruce Gerard was not an unknown danger. He was a walking case file, a repeated warning. A man who had allegedly been terrorizing women for years while courts kept dropping cases like hot potatoes and sending him back into the world with nothing but more time to find another target. This is where the satire gets dark, because what exactly does a woman have to do to be believed before she ends up dead? Should Tanisha have submitted her fear in triplicate, added a PowerPoint, attached a calendar invite titled "Potential Homicide, Please Review"? She called. She reported. She named him. She changed her life. She quit her job. She tried to disappear from a man who was hunting her through phone calls, messages, fake excuses, and alleged investigators. Yet the machine that was supposed to protect her treated the danger like background noise. On July 2nd, 2024, the nightmare finally walked up to her door. Around 7:30 p.m., Tanisha had gotten home to her apartment at the Idlewood complex on West Park Drive. She greeted her dog, Snow, a small, ordinary, human moment in what should have been an ordinary evening. But Gerard was outside her door. Surveillance showed him listening, pacing, ringing the bell, waiting like the cowardly predator he was. For about 12 minutes, he lingered outside that apartment, not as a man seeking closure, but as a man preparing to invade. When Tanisha cracked the door open, Bruce forced his way inside. He pushed in, shut the door, and Tanisha screamed. 3 to 4 minutes later, he walked out calmly with a gun and 2 phones, including hers. Think about that. This man allegedly forced his way into her home, shot her, stole her phone, and walked away like he had just finished running an errand. Tanisha fought for her life. Reports suggest she may have grabbed a dog bowl to shield herself. That image alone should haunt everybody who failed her. A young woman trying to defend herself with whatever was within reach because the institutions with badges, courts, files, hearings, and jail cells could not manage to keep one violent man away from her door. Tanisha was shot twice, once in the leg and once in the chest. Her neighbor called 911 after hearing the disturbance. Bruce was arrested days later on July 5th. And because evil apparently loves an encore, prosecutors said that after his arrest and Tanisha's death, he made more harassing calls to another woman from the Harris County jail. From jail, after being arrested for murder, still harassing women, still proving exactly what he was, still showing the system that this was never about love, never about rejection, never about emotions too big to handle. This was control. This was entitlement. This was a man who believed women existed to be threatened, hunted, punished, and silenced.
Also tonight, startling new details in the death of a woman in the West Chase area. Court records show the man behind bars for her murder had been stalking her prior to a horrifying home invasion last month near West Park in Gessner. As ABC 13's Micah Hatfield found out, the victim made a recent cry for help.
After police arrested Bruce Wayne Gerard, they say they found disturbing notes relating to the victim inside of his car. According to a search warrant, he had handwritten a plan on how he planned to find her using her social security number and phone records. They also say they found a note that said, quote, "I will find Tanisha Richards." For roughly 12 minutes, Bruce Wayne Gerard stood outside of Tanisha Richards' condo at the Idlewood complex on July 2nd. A neighbor's surveillance camera caught the man repeatedly ringing the doorbell and pacing back and forth, according to a search warrant. But then 25-year-old Richards, seen here in a photo from Facebook, cracked the door to answer it. And the video caught him forcing his way inside. Between 3 and 4 minutes later, investigators note that he left. A neighbor called police, who found Richards dead from gunshot wounds inside. It's unclear the extent of their relationship, but it seems that they knew of each other at least. Richards had made a police report in December of last year, according to records, saying that Gerard had just gotten out of jail and was harassing and threatening her. She wrote that she was scared Bruce would find where she lives now, and that she was, quote, "scared for her life." Houston police arrested Gerard on July 5th and say they found Richards' tax returns in his car and a photo of her with, quote, "no weapon, no evil eye, no curse of the third party will work. No person can control or stop us," handwritten on the photo. 43-year-old Gerard is now charged with capital murder, and a judge denied his bond. He is currently on parole for a 2005 aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge.
On March 18, 2026, a Harris County jury convicted Bruce of capital murder, which brought an automatic sentence of life imprisonment without parole. And yes, that conviction mattered. It meant he could never stalk another woman from the free world again. But for Tanisha's family, justice after death is not the same as protection during life. Life without parole does not rewind the months her record sat. It does not erase the dismissed cases. It does not undo every warning sign that was ignored. It does not give her back her future, her content, her laugh, her dog, her family, her friends, her dreams, or the life she was trying so hard to build. The most infuriating part of this case is that Tanisha did not vanish quietly into danger. She spoke, she reported, she documented. She asked for help. The system had Bruce's name. It had his history. It had his threats. It had his pattern. It had the kind of past that should have made every new complaint impossible to ignore. But instead, the same tired excuses marched in: dismissed cases, missing witnesses, insufficient evidence, delayed police action. And while the system searched for perfect paperwork, Gerard searched for Richards. That is the brutal truth here. Tanisha was not failed by one bad moment. She was failed in chapters. Failed when a violent man with a history of attacking women was released back into society. Failed when allegation after allegation did not keep him contained. Failed when her stalking report sat for months. Failed when her fear was not treated like evidence. Failed when a voicemail threat did not trigger the urgency it deserved. Failed when the burden of survival was placed on her instead of accountability being placed on him. Richards deserved protection before she became a headline. She deserved urgency before her family had to sit in a courtroom. She deserved a police response that moved faster than her stalker. She deserved courts that understood a violent history is not a coincidence, it is a forecast. She deserved to grow her platform, laugh on TikTok, make her videos, chase her dreams. and live long enough to become everything she was working toward. Instead, her story became another painful reminder that women are often expected to predict their own murders, document their own danger, and still pray somebody in power decides to care before it is too late. Tanesha was loved. She was funny. She was smart. She was ambitious. She was more than what Bruce Gerard did to her. And while he will spend the rest of his life locked away, she should still be here. May Tanisha Richards rest in peace.